Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Bailey again with Rogers Performance Marine down here in southern Utah. Today I want to go over two very popular fishing boats for us in our area. So to my right, I've got the Lund 1650 Angler Sport, and then over here to my left, I have the Lund 1650 Rebel XL. I want to try and help out those of you that are looking for your next fish boat and may not have the ability to swing into your Lund dealer and check both boats out side by side. On paper, if you get on the website, they do look very comparable. There's a lot of similarities in the two, but there are a lot of differences. Because of the price gap between the two, I want to be able to help show you what those differences are. And then that way you can hopefully use this video to find your next fish boat. So let's check them out. Okay, so we'll start off by talking about a few of the specs on the boats. All this information can be found on Lund Boats website, but to cover a few of the basic specs, again, 1650 Angler Sport, starting price for 2026 is going to be just over $28,000 for the Sport Edition. Length of this boat is going to come in at 16 feet 5 inches. Width is just over 80 inches. It's going to have a 5-person seating capacity, and then it comes with a removable 6.5 gallon fuel tank. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. Moving over to the Rebel, 2026 base price for the Sport Edition is going to be just over $31,000. Length on this is very similar. It's only 2 inches longer, comes in at 16 feet 7 inches. Width is quite a bit bigger, so this one's going to have an 85-inch beam. Seating capacity, you get one extra person in the boat at 6 persons, and then this does have the built-in 19-gallon fuel tank. So again, those are a few of the general specs on it. You can find those and more information on lundboats.com. Now we'll check out a few of the exterior differences and hop up inside. All right, a few things to go over on the exterior of these boat packages. First, I want to start off by talking about the trailers. You'll notice by stepping up to the 1650 Rebel XL, you're going to get a little bit nicer trailer. It's going to come with a little larger fenders, a little larger tire. You're going to step up to a 13-inch wheel as opposed to a 12-inch wheel. Both of them are going to have quick grease zerks on the wheel. That way you can grease them nice and easy. And then they are both going to have breakaway tongues on the bow. Another difference you'll notice, the Rebel, you're going to get the roller load guides, as opposed to the Angler, you're going to get the board style load guides. Both work great, just going over the differences here. Since we were talking about the fenders, they are larger on the Rebel, but both are can act as a step to get in and out of the boat. Just a couple minor differences there. Okay, a couple quick things to cover on the transom here. So as you can see, we've got this Rebel equipped with a 90 horsepower Mercury outboard. Then we have the Angler equipped with the the 60 horsepower Mercury outboard. With the Angler, you can do the 40, 50, or 60. And then with the Rebel, you can do the 75 or 90 horsepower. Because we do a lot of fishing up at high altitude, we tend to order our boats in with max horsepower when possible. A couple other things you may not notice. So both of them are going to have Lund's IPS hull system. This is going to help the running surface, help you get on plane, help your overall handling and driving experience. A couple other things that might go unnoticed, like you've got your optional transom straps here. These are the ratcheting transom straps, make it super easy to secure your boat when you're ready to trailer, and then also very easy to get your boat ready to launch. So that's going to cover most of the features, specs, and similarities on the exterior of the boat. So now we're going to hop up inside and show you the rest. All right, so we're going to start here in the bow of the 1650 Angler. So this is going to be very similar to the Sport, to the Rebel. So biggest similarity is going to be the bow storage. This is all communicating storage, meaning it passes through onto this side. You can access or put gear on either side. And then you're going to have a nice open live well, easy to get to, ton of room in there. Same with the Rebel. And then to the port side of that, you're going to have the battery storage compartment. So if you're just running the 12 volt, you'll have one battery in there on either boat. If you're running the 24 volt, you'll have a battery in this compartment, and then there will be a tray for another battery in this storage compartment. The two biggest differences I see between the two, you'll notice on the Angler, we've got our speakers up here in the bow. If you do get it with the optional sound system, the Rebel is going to be towards the aft of the boat. And then on the Rebel, you're going to get a cup holder built into the floor on the starboard side right in front of the driver's console. I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay, coming back a little bit to the console, I could really show you either boat and they're almost identical. So when you look at the Sport consoles, you've got a nice open glove box, ton of room in there. And then with the redesign of the driver's helm, bringing the gauges down, opening up the visibility through the windshield, both look almost identical. So gauges here, switches nice and layout to the right of the steering wheel, and then you've got a ton of room for graphs up here. You can get that on either the 1650 Rebel or the Angler itself. Okay, now moving to the back of the boat. This is going to be where the biggest differences come, in my opinion, and really neither of them are bad. It's just what works best for you. So port and starboard side rod storage is going to be very comparable. You actually do get a little bit more rod storage length in the Angler than you do in the Rebel, but it is pretty minimal. So you have, again, port and starboard side locking rod storage. And then here's where the really big differences come. So factory sends with a removable 6.5 gallon fuel tank. You can put an additional fuel tank under where I'm sitting right now if you want a total of 13 gallons. House battery is going to be below where I'm sitting also. But with this, I like it because if it's just me, my wife, and my kids, a lot of times they're just going to sit up on this deck while we're moving around the lake. But then I've got a nice big fishing platform that I can walk around with, and it doesn't protrude into the cockpit at all. Keeps the cockpit nice, open, and very spacious. So let's move over to the Rebel and show you a few things on that boat. Okay, now we're inside the 1650 Rebel XL. So like I said, the dashes are almost identical. You've got your port side lock and glove box, nice open console for the driver, gauges down below the fish finder, switches, nice layout, easy to access. And then moving up into the bow, like I say, again, almost identical. See the cup holder on the starboard side. That gets added with the Rebel. Live well and battery storage compartment going to be just about the same. And then again, you've got your pass-through storage up in the bow. And then you notice the speakers have been removed and they are in the back of the cockpit on this one. Okay, now towards the back of the cockpit in the 1650 Rebel. So you can see it does have the same port and starboard side locking storage. You do have deeper storage on the Rebel. So you can see down there a lot of room for your rods on both sides, and you can lock those up. Like I mentioned earlier, speakers get moved to the back of the boat on this model. And then the biggest thing is going to be that rear flip-up seat deck. So you can unsnap these seats, flip them up, gives you a ton of room for your passengers in the back. Or if you're going to use it for a fishing platform, this turns into a great casting deck. So we'll take and flip this back. And now, especially with the storage compartment shut, we have a huge casting deck. Then you got a little bit more storage back there, battery locations back there as well, spot for a seat base also. So just a little bit of a larger deck. Obviously, with the upgraded boat, you do get a little bit more out of it. So that should show you a lot of the differences and the similarities inside the cockpit of these two boats. All right, well, that about wraps everything up. Hopefully that helps show you guys the differences between the two boats and helps make your decision for your next Lund fishing boat a little bit easier. Thanks for watching the video, and check us out online at rogersperformancemarine.com. Thanks.